The West Midlands Metro has been in operation since 1999, ferrying passengers between the Birmingham area and Wolverhampton. However, even if you're a regular on the line, there may be some things you won't have known about the Metro. So, in this two-part mini-series, I'm going to be going through the secrets of the West Midlands Metro. The Metro began life off in mid-1999, from Birmingham Snow Hill to Wolverhampton St George's, along an old rail alignment. The first extension came some 16 years after, when the line was extended to Bull Street and then Grand Central by 2016. Further extensions occurred in the 2019 to 2022 West Side extension through Birmingham City Centre to Edgbaston, whilst finally, in 2023, the line was extended in the Wolverhampton Station and Piper's Row extension. The current Metro line is Line 1, with two further lines to Dudley and Digbeth currently being constructed. But for now, let's start today's video at Edgbaston, where we'll travel all the way through to the Hawthorns in this first part of Secrets of the West Midlands Metro. So behind me there is Edgbaston Village Station, one of the newest stations on the West Midlands Metro, opening in July 2022. My first fact is that this station used or would have been called Hagley Road, but was changed to Edgbaston Village. It actually is quite far from Edgbaston Cricket Ground. It's the other side of Edgbaston. So overall, Edgbaston Village is not really near Edgbaston. The area is quite built up. There's like a shopping centre and a Morrison's just down there. And there looks to be a conference centre or some sort of big office block beside me. The tram stop is very close to Edgbaston Reservoir, which is one of the main reservoirs serving Birmingham. The reservoir was originally known as Rotten Park Reservoir and was enlarged by Thomas Telford in 1829 to supply water to Birmingham and Wolverhampton. Today, the reservoir is a site of importance for nature and conservation, as well as for leisure activities in Birmingham. Edgbaston itself is known for its leafy streets and blue plaques, being home to Victorian scientists and writers, including J.R.R. Tolkien and Barbara Cartland. The area was protected from industrial development, due to landowners ensuring that only houses would be built on the land in Edgbaston. Anyway, the next stop on the line is Five Ways. The Five Ways, I don't know what it is. Casino centre, shopping centre place. There's a few buildings with shops and it's called Five Ways. It is right in front of me there. But this station is announced as the fastest point to Five Ways railway station. The station was reopened in 1978 on the Cross City line, and although it shares the same name as Five Ways tram stop, it is actually rather close to Edgbaston Village as well, with only a few minutes difference between Edgbaston Village and Five Ways tram stop to Five Ways railway station. The name Five Ways comes from the junction of the same name, which was created in 1565, where 5 road intersections combined. There's also a statue nearby to the station of famous abolitionist Joseph Sturge, with the statue recently being renovated. Now it's time to head to the next station on the line, Brindley Place. Now Brindley Place, in my opinion, is a really nice part of Birmingham. There's lots of hotels, lots of nice eateries and cafes and whatnot along here. But there's something just down here which makes it quite nice. It's very peaceful. It's very quiet, and this is what Birmingham is famous for, or should be famous for. More canals than Venice. I can't really describe how just peaceful it is. It's just very scenic and very quiet, away from the hustle and bustle of Brindley Place. Literally a 3-minute walk and you get here. Quite surreal. But I'm going to go to the next stop, which is a library for Centenary Place. At Library, Centenary Square. I love this area of Birmingham. It's all been very majorly rebuilt. Of course, named after the library, just there. And we'll go through the history of the pretty impressive library and what is the 10th most visited attraction in the whole of the UK. So yes, the library tram stop opened in 2019 as part of the extension from Grand Central. The actual library itself has been rebuilt 3 times. Central Library first opened in 1857, caught fire in 1879 and was subsequently rebuilt. It was then demolished and replaced in 1974 by a new library before, in 2006, the decision was made to relocate the library to Centenary Square. Construction started in 2010, opening in 2013, costing £188 million. The library today is the largest public cultural space in Europe, the largest regional library in Europe, and, with 2 million visitors, is the 10th most popular attraction in the UK. The library itself does have a secret. On the 2nd floor there is a public garden, but on the 7th floor there is the secret garden, with fantastic views overlooking Birmingham and the West Midlands. Do give it a visit if you're ever in Birmingham. The whole library is fantastic. It's free to visit and is open from 11 AM. So this stop actually used to be the terminus of the line to Town Hall. The extension to Edgbaston Village covered Brindley Place, Five Ways and Edgbaston Village, meaning that if I turn around here, these points behind me are pretty obsolete now and don't really serve a purpose. Now it was time to take one of the 10-year-old CAF Urbo 3s, one stop down the line to Town Hall stop. Now you don't need to be a genius to work out what is here at Town Hall. The stop opened in 2019 as well as the extension all the way to the library. If I say all the way, it's literally like 2 minutes. But yeah, here at Town Hall is the Town Hall. That is it. Victoria Square is home to both the Town Hall and the Council House, being renamed to Victoria Square on the 10th of January 1901, just 12 days before Queen Victoria's death, with a marble statue sculpted by Thomas Brock present outside the Town Hall. The Town Hall itself was opened in 1834 and was the first example of Roman Revival architecture in England. The Council House was developed some 40 years later, completed in 1879, and is home to Birmingham City Council. The whole area is just a 5 minutes walk from Birmingham New Street Station, which is visible from the square. And that brings me nicely onto the next stop on the line, Grand Central. The tram stop itself opened in May 2016 and was the terminus of the line until December 2019, when the line was extended to Library. The stop is named after Grand Central, which is the name of the shopping centre inside of Birmingham New Street. The shopping centre Grand Central also connects onto the nearby Bullring, which is the much larger shopping centre in Birmingham. Now the whole tram extension to Grand Central was part of the major redevelopment of Birmingham New Street, which saw the whole station be redeveloped. But perhaps the most interesting part of Grand Central is what lies just a 7-minute walk away in the intersection between Brunel Street and Navigation Street. This magnificent building is Birmingham New Street signal box, rightly on Brunel Street. It was built in 1966, it was Grade 2 listed and closed as a signal box in December of 2022, although it is still in railway use. And if you look very closely, look at that, there is a stop board which would be used to close part of a line, still in there. It's a really cool structure. The next stop, literally a 2-minute walk away, is Corporation Street. This station was built along with the Grand Central extension. Look out for the Grand Central bound platform, which is sparse and doesn't even feature a shelter, as developers believed nobody would want to take the tram to Grand Central and didn't envision the extensions which followed. Next up is Bull Street. This station is the designated interchange for Birmingham Snow Hill Station. It's the first of just a few island platform stations on the network, and, like Grand Central, was a terminus station when it first opened. You were the guard conductor on that. Hello. He was very interested in what I'm doing. He was interested in my mics, because turns out he was a filmmaker as well, getting advice on these mics. If you're interested, I've got the DJI mic 2 or 3, whatever the most modern one is. They're very good mics, I would recommend. This whole area was transformed when the station was built. It opened in 2015. So this one opened first before the rest of the line to Grand Central opened. So this was the first Midlands Metro extension, and is still sometimes used as a termini stop whilst work is undertaken on the new Digbeth line, which will make Bull Street into a junction station. Just down there the line will converge to go to Digbeth and along to Birmingham HS2 stop interchange station, whilst the line continues on to Edgbaston Village the other way. Now though, it's time to go and look at the original terminus of the Midlands Metro. The 1999 Midlands Metro opened between Wolverhampton and Birmingham Snow Hill, and that Birmingham Snow Hill station still survives to this day. Just here. The original Birmingham Snow Hill Midlands Metro terminus was built alongside the National Rail Station. It closed permanently on October the 24th, 2015, whilst 6 weeks of engineering works were undertaken to bring the tram into the city centre to Bull Street. But yeah, there's an old escalator there as well. Otherwise you would have to take the stairs or the lift, but yeah, this was the old original termini of the 1999 West Midlands Metro. I've come just here. You get a brilliant view of the overgrown station. Hasn't seen trams in a good 10 years now, but it's just been left like that. And if you look over there, the sign says no access to trams. You used to be able to walk over here to get to the trams, but not anymore. That hasn't been used in some time. So there's the old line. One day, well, there are plans now to turn that whole section into platform 4 at Snow Hill. It's been in the works for a good 10 years, but now funding has been given to the Midlands Rail Hub in the May spending review. So that means that funding should be given for that platform to reopen, and the metro station will finally be destroyed 10 years after it was last used. The tracks are all still down there. Haven't been used in some time. Now the next stop is just here, called St Chad's. So even though officially Bull Street is the stop for Birmingham Snow Hill, it does advertise here to change to St Chad's for the trams over there. That's exactly what we're going to do if my ticket allows me to leave the station. There's one huge caveat with changing here at St Chad's rather than Bull Street, is that you have to go through this pretty horrible underpass. I think this road is the A400 or something. This wasn't meant to be the case. There was meant to be a much easier way to change between the tram and the rail station. Just here, where there is some construction work going on, there should have been a new entrance just here. And just through that wall is where I just was, through that new entrance. Just here should be where, well, a new entrance should be. Now, I will go up to the platform, but this was all publicised in 2018 or 2019. It was confirmed the funding had been found. The new entrance at Snow Hill was going to start construction in mid-2018, early 2019, I believe. But nothing happened. I don't know why. There's nothing online about it. I tried contacting West Midlands Railway. They didn't know. So for whatever reason, we're left with this little stub of a station. Originally, when the station opened, it was called Snow Hill. But passengers were rightfully kind of annoyed at the fact that it is quite difficult to go to Snow Hill. Despite the platforms just being here, you have to leave the tram stop, down there, down the lift, under the underpass, all the way around to the newer entrance around there. So, I believe in 2017, they changed the name from Snow Hill to St Chad's. Indeed, the stop opened in June 2016, with it being renamed in 2017. Interesting to note here that Centro is still branded on the shouters. Now, Centro hasn't existed for quite some time, as it's been replaced by, well, the West Midlands Diamond brand. On the original alignment from now on, this is the last of the new stops until Wolverhampton, although that is for part 2. So yes, now it was time to join the original 1999 alignment to our first stop of St Paul's. Not very long, literally a minute or 2 minutes to St Paul's tram stop. Now this is the first stop that we've been to on the original alignment, which is pretty obvious to see because this faded blue is the original colour scheme. It is also the first stop which is directly alongside the Snow Hill lines. We'll be following the Snow Hill lines until, I believe, the Hawthorns. So this station doesn't have too much going for it, except for what's here at St Paul's. A 10-minute walk away, which I'm about to do, takes us to why this station is named St Paul's. So yes, St Paul's is most famous for the nearby church, built in 1777, which sits in St Paul's Square, which is the only remaining Georgian square left in Birmingham. The Royal Birmingham Society of Artists also have offices nearby, and the whole area has a very quaint feeling. Next up, I took a bus to the next stop along the line, Jewellery Quarter. Always feels a bit embarrassing when you go on a bus journey, for literally like 2 stops. Of course, Jewellery Quarter needs no introduction. It is the largest collection of jewellery manufacturers in the UK, and I think the whole of Europe. I think it produces something, well, let me get the stat up, how much percentage of jewellery is produced here out of the whole of the UK. It's quite a significant number. 40% of the UK's jewellery is made here. There's the largest assay office, which I think hallmarks jewellery, nearby. Yeah, it's quite nice. I think the station is literally just up here, yes. That there is an old Victorian urinal. Jewellery Quarter Station was opened in 1995 by British Rail on the newly reopened line from Birmingham Snow Hill to Smethwick Golden Bridge. It became an interchange with the West Midlands Metro in 1999 and currently sees around 700,000 passengers a year across both tram and train. And that there is Hockley Tunnel. Now the rail station here sees, I think it's 4 or 6 trains an hour in each direction towards Snow Hill and then towards Kidderminster and Stourbridge and Worcester along there. It does seem some Chiltern Railway services, although these are very sparse, only a few a day. Now just there, in those fields and grass is actually a cemetery. But enough about cemeteries, now it's time to go to our next stop, Soho Benson Road. Soho Benson Road Station, it's incredibly straight down there, you can see all the way to the next station. What is there to say about Soho Benson Road? Well, not a lot. It lies on the former site of Soho and Winson Green Station, which was part of the former railway from here, Snow Hill, towards Wolverhampton. I think it closed in 1972 or something, somewhere around that. It was quite late for a closure of a railway line, it was in the 70s. It is near Soho House, which is where Matthew Boulton lives, or lived, should I say. Matthew Boulton was a founder of the Lunar Society of Birmingham and worked with James Watt on the creation of the steam engine. And this stop is closest to Soho EMU depot on the West Coast Main Line, where West Midlands Railway currently maintain their Class 730s and formerly maintained their Class 323s. It's not the least used, but it is one of the lesser used West Midlands Metro stops, getting on average 450 passengers per day. So let's wait 4 minutes for the next tram going towards Wolverhampton, and then we can go to the next stop, Winson Green Outer Circle. And as that tram leaves, it drops me off here at Winson Green Outer Circle. Now you might be wondering, what sort of a name does Outer Circle mean? Now I'm going to go down here and show you why it's called Outer Circle and why it has lots of signs here for buses, and why on the maps in the trams it's got a bus icon for a bus interchange. As you can see, Winson Green Outer Circle has a little bus icon. There is a reason for that. I'm going to put my camera here and tell you why. Right, we're on an angle, but I can't do much better than that. I'm actually going to film what I'm what it's attached to. It's attached to a little banister and it's sloping downwards. But yes, Winson Green Outer Circle is a bit of an odd name to call a tram stop. And there's a reason it's called this, because of the Outer Circle bus route which served this stop. It's currently Route 11 and it's been running since 1926. Basically it connects all around Birmingham, it doesn't go into the city centre. It's another stop to have an island platform. Now the West Coast Main Line crosses just over there. I'll insert a shot, you can see the catenary of the West Coast Main Line. I wonder if we'll see any trains. And just up there, I haven't got it written down because I wasn't expecting it, but just up there is an old buffer stop. I assume there used to be a siding here from when the line was in commercial use up until the 70s. But that's still there, which is kind of nice. It's quite peaceful. It's quite a grand entrance. It just needs a lick of paint, but nice bit of sculpture work, and there's also a nice big ramp for step-free access. Here at Handsworth Booth Street, The station itself is actually quite far from Handsworth. Handsworth is quite a large area of Birmingham, but it's a good 20-30 minute walk away. So it's called Booth Street because, well, people need to know that it's not actually near Handsworth town centre. You might as well get a bus. It's on the site of Handsworth and Smethwick station, which closed in 1972. There is an old gentleman toilet sign underneath the bridge where there used to be a toilet for the station. Also, fun fact, there's a street nearby called Downing Street. Not sure Keir Starmer's going to be over there though. And also there's these really cool poles which have the old Metro logo. It's a cool Metro logo, that. The new one's the diamond one, but it's in the chairs as well. If I just turn the camera, you can see it there. It's in all the old chairs on this original part of the line. But the logo's changed now to the West Midlands diamond with the blue in it, which you can see up there. Let's go to the Hawthorns, which will be the final station in this part 1 of the secrets of the West Midlands Metro. Here at the Hawthorns, another National Rail connection. First though, it's worth pointing out this sign, still with the London Midland logo on. The Hawthorns station originally opened in 1931 as the Hawthorns Halt, before closing in 1968. It was eventually reopened by British Rail as the Hawthorns in 1995, before becoming an interchange with the tram in 1999. The station and metro stop today sees around 600,000 passengers a year. The station sees 4 trains an hour in each direction by West Midlands Railway on weekdays at off-peak, and also some Chiltern Railway services from London Marylebone. There's a tram, but we're going to leave the station out over here. Well, I'm not too sure what the point of this is, or if it works. I'm obviously going to try it. Well, they're not very good turnstiles, so you're not meant to be able to push them the other way. Should we walk through? Oh, hang on, I can't get through now. Do I have to press it again? How does that work then? That must like release some sort of hydraulic thing. Right, well, we're through the turnstile. So yes, well done to everybody that guessed why the Hawthorns is famous, because of all this. The Hawthorns Stadium, home to West Bromwich Albion. Remember the last time they were in the Premier League? It was COVID. I remember Robinson scoring against Chelsea when they beat them at Stamford Bridge like 5-0 or something. It's kind of embarrassing. Anyway, so yes, the Hawthorns is currently home to Championship side West Bromwich Albion, and it was built in 1900. The stadium currently has a capacity of 26,000, but its record attendance was 64,000 versus Arsenal in 1937. Now there's a school just here, Sandwell Academy. We are in the borough of Sandwell, which you would have known if you watched my video on visiting every West Midlands borough. Do that. Made it back to the Hawthorns. This seems like the perfect time to end part 1 of my Secrets of the West Midlands Metro mini-series. In part 2, we'll cover from here in the Hawthorns all the way down to Wolverhampton. I hope you've enjoyed this part 1 video. If so, do like, subscribe, consider joining my membership or my Patreon. All the links to do so will be in the description below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in part 2. And of course, a huge thank you to all my YouTube and Patreon members, including First Class members Aaron Barry and Crispin McKee, Business Zone members Andrew Bowen, Anthony Harris, Anthony James Moore, ARK, Conor Greed, Clive Travel and Trains, Craig Mitchell 43, Dave CDF, Gordon Walker, J Teco, JBNEL, Lewis C21, NJTE, Real, Scott Wheeler, That Transport Girl and Will Ho, as well as all my Standard Premium and Standard Class members. You can get your name on this list from as little as £2.99 a month, or support me from as little as 99p a month and get access to exclusive perks, such as access to videos early. Thank you very much, I really appreciate all your support. Here's the best secret of the day. That Tesco Express is on 2 floors. A 2-floor Tesco Express. That is a secret if I've ever seen one.